Hello guys, welcome to the channel Bio World. So in last class we were discussing about law of conservation of mass and law of chemical combination మనం discuss చేసాం which tells that reactants will be equal to product. Today we are going to see the next four laws, that is law of definite proportion. So ఎప్పుడైనా laws చూస్తున్నప్పుడు you see follow what is the definition tells about. So law of definite proportion tells you that definite proportion amount తీసుకుంటే ఒక chemical compound ఎక్కడి నుంచి అయితే which source it is obtained, it will contain same element combined together in same fixed proportion. So you can note it down. I will mention it likewise. So if we see chemical compound which a source is obtained, okay, source is obtained. In that source, it contains same element combined together in same fixed proportion. So such cases ni manam definite proportion antam. Okay. Should I explain with an example? Yes. Now we are going to see this with an example. Okay. Water, how many type of water we know? We know sea water untundi. Yes. We have sea water. Okay. We have salt water. Okay. Rainwater. Sea water is salt. Okay. Rainwater is one kind. And another one is tap water. Okay. మనం ఇప్పుడు త్రీ కైండ్స్ ఆఫ్ వాటర్ తీసుకుంటే వన్ ఈజ్ సీ వాటర్, వన్ ఈజ్ రెయిన్ వాటర్ అండ్ అనదర్ ఈజ్ ట్యాప్ వాటర్. ఈ త్రీ తీసుకుంటే మనం కాంపౌండ్ యొక్క రేషియో చూద్దాం. కాంపౌండ్ అంటే ఏంటి? టూ ఎలిమెంట్స్ కలిస్తే ఏ అండ్ బి కలిస్తే ఇట్ విల్ ఫార్మ్ కాంపౌండ్. దట్ ఈస్ ఏబిని ఫార్మ్ చేస్తే మనం లాస్ట్ క్లాస్ లో వీ హ్యావ్ డిస్కస్డ్. సో ఏబిని ఫార్మ్ చేస్తే ఈ కాంపౌండ్ ని మనం దిస్ ఈజ్ నోన్ యాజ్ కాంపౌండ్. సో మనకి సీ వాటర్ ఉంది, రెయిన్ వాటర్ ఉంది అండ్ ట్యాప్ వాటర్ ఉంది. సీ వాటర్, రెయిన్ వాటర్ అండ్ ట్యాప్ వాటర్. అయితే ఇప్పుడు వాట్ ఈస్ ఇట్ మేడ్ అప్ ఆఫ్? వాట్ ఈస్ ఇట్ మేడ్ అప్ ఆఫ్? వాటర్, H2O, we know that. అయితే ఇప్పుడు మనం హైడ్రోజన్ ఈస్ టు ఆక్సిజన్ తీసుకుంటాం. ఇక్కడ కూడా హైడ్రోజన్ ఈస్ టు ఆక్సిజన్ తీసుకుంటాం. ఇక్కడ కూడా ట్యాప్ వాటర్ ఆల్సో విల్ టేక్ hydrogen is to oxygen. Now let's see the ratio. Okay, grams. In grams, if we take hydrogen, 2 grams. ante kada 2 grams. Oxygen, only one atom kabatti 16 grams. Ikkada 2 grams of hydrogen, 16 grams. Ikkada 2 grams, which is equals to 16 grams of oxygen. So in everything, the seawater or rainwater or tap water, the chemical compound is a source that is obtained. Same element, yes, it is combined together in same fixed proportion. And what is the proportion here? Proportion enti 2:1. Two components of hydrogen and one component of oxygen. So this is about law of definite proportion. Okay, let's understand this with an example. Okay, let's see an example from the NCERT nunchi chuddam. Okay, so if we perform two experiments, first experiment lo I'm going to take 0.243 grams of magnesium burning with O2. ఏమవుతుంది? O2 తో బర్న్ అయినప్పుడు మెగ్నీషియం it yield 0.403 grams of oxide, magnesium oxide ni it will form. Okay, this is the first case. Next, I'm performing experiment number 2. In that experiment number 2, I'm having 0.182 grams magnesium. Okay, magnesium with how much? O2, some amount of O2 మనం తీసుకున్నాం, which forms 0.302 grams of magnesium oxide. Okay, it is forming magnesium oxide. Two cases తీసుకుంటున్నాం. So magnesium ని ఏంటిది ఏ రియాక్షన్ ఇది కంబషన్ రియాక్షన్. మెగ్నీషియం ని ఆక్సిజన్ తో if you burn it, it will form MgO. MgO. అయితే experiment number 1 లో we have magnesium as 0.243 grams. Okay, 0.243 grams ఉంది. It is burning with oxygen and it is forming 0.403. Okay, 0.403 grams magnesium oxide ని ఫామ్ చేస్తుంది. అనదర్ వన్ 0.182 గ్రామ్ తీసుకున్నప్పుడు it is forming 0.302 grams. 302 grams of magnesium oxide is forming. So, ఇప్పుడు మనకి ఆక్సిజన్ ఎంత అని తెలియాలి అంటే సేమ్ అమౌంట్ లో ఇట్ విల్ కంబైన్ ఇన్ సేమ్ అమౌంట్. సో హౌ విల్ యూ డూ? దీంట్లో నుంచి దీన్ని మైనస్ చేస్తాం. we will get around 0.16. We will get around 0.16. దీనిలో నుంచి దీన్ని మైనస్ చేస్తే we will get around 0.12. 0.12. No, experiment number 1 లో మెగ్నీషియం అండ్ MgO రేషియో చూస్తే it is, take it, 0.243, okay, upon 0.16 ని తీసుకుంటాం. మెగ్నీషియం సెకండ్ ఎక్స్పెరిమెంట్ లో అదే MgO సెకండ్ ఎక్స్పెరిమెంట్ లో what will we get? 0.182 upon 0.12. ఓకే, ఇప్పుడు ఈ రేషియో మనం చేస్తే ఈ రేషియో క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేస్తే we will get 1.51. we are going to get 1.51. okay, మరి సెకండ్ ఎక్స్పెరిమెంట్ లో here also we are going to get 1.51 grams. So when you are calculating, so ratio same? Yes, same. So when a chemical compound is obtained, it is having same elements combined together in same fixed proportion. So same fixed proportions lo combine aithe it is known as law of definite proportion. Okay, that is how we will say. Next is law of multiple proportion. What is it? Law of multiple proportion. So what does this law of multiple proportion tells? ఇది కొంచెం డిఫరెంట్ because ఇక్కడ initially definite proportion లో we have taken two elements, but in multiple proportion we are going to take multiple proportions of the element. So here it comes, you can note it down. Okay, for law of multiple proportion, when two elements combine to form more than one compound, then different masses of one element, that is combines with fixed mass of other element, which bears a whole number ratio. So కొంచెం confusing. Here you can see when two elements, so here we are taking an example again. So here you can see when two elements are combining to form more than one compound. So more than one compound ni form చేస్తున్నప్పుడు two elements, one of the elements, suppose we are taking A and B element. A is combining with B, but this A will be in fixed proportion. So this A is present in fixed proportion, but B amount will be varied. Let's understand this with an example. Suppose I am taking carbon and oxygen. Again, I am taking, keep the door, carbon and oxygen, same things we are taking. So here, once it is forming carbon dioxide, second time it is forming carbon monoxide. So, రెండు compounds ఒకటా కాదు. So, ఒకసారి carbon dioxide it is forming, the other time it is forming carbon monoxide, which are both components of carbon. But ఇక్కడ one part of carbon తో two parts of oxygen is combining. Here only one part of oxygen is combining. So such cases are known as where two elements are combining more than one compound ని form చేయడానికి, but one element will be having fixed proportion. Ikkada carbon, which element is having fixed proportion? Carbon is having the fixed proportion, fixed ratio. So let's understand more with one more example. Suppose manam H2O, water, if we take, and H2O2, okay, with what is it? H2O2 peroxide, if we see, the 2 is to 16. 2 grams of hydrogen, 16 grams of oxygen, right? H2O2, what about H2O2? 2 grams of hydrogen and 32 grams of 32 grams of oxygen. Other if we take, we calculate, it will be in 1 is to 2 ratio. It is in 1 is to 2 ratio. So different masses of oxygen, O2, different masses, but hydrogen is fixed. Hydrogen is in fixed ratio. So that is what one element will be in fixed ratio, the other will change its nature. Then name law of multiple proportion. So suppose if I take nitrogen and oxygen, nitrogen and oxygen different components ని form చేస్తాయి. Okay, if మనం components చూస్తే it can form N2O, it will form NO, it will form N2O3. Okay, it will form N2O3, it can also form NO2 and N2O5. All these can be formed. All these things can be formed. అదే ఇప్పుడు మనం if we take the ratio of this nitrogen and oxygen, here you can see nitrogen, okay, 2 times. So it is 1 nitrogen అయితే 14, 2 nitrogens 28. ఇక్కడ 16. Here nitrogen is 14, oxygen is 16. Here nitrogen is 28, oxygen is 48. Nitrogen is 14, oxygen is 32. Okay. Okay. But ikkada which element is in fixed ratio? Which element do you see is in fixed ratio? Nothing. ఎందుకని nitrogen 28, 14, 28, 14. So now if we fix this nitrogen level if we fix to 28, అప్పుడు oxygen 16. If nitrogen is 14 kada, if we are going to take for 28, this will also double, that is 32. Oxygen will be doubled. If nitrogen is again 28, oxygen ఎంత 48, it won't change. If nitrogen దీన్ని మనం 14 గా 28 తీసుకుంటే డబుల్ చేస్తుంటే 32 double 64. So what is fixed here? Nitrogen component is fixed, but the ratio of oxygen is changing. Ratio of oxygen is changing. So ఒక కాంపోనెంట్ ఫిక్స్డ్ గా ఉండి the other component varies అయితే దాన్ని మనం ఏమంటాం? This is known as law of multiple proportion. This is known as law of multiple proportion. Two more are there which we are going to discuss in next week.